You're watching Moms Matter at EverTalk TV. I'm your host, Shirin Yadigar, and I have Shiva Rose joining us today. She truly lives a beautiful, holistic life, an authentic mama of two. She's a naturalist and an activist, and she's here joining us virtually from her home in the Santa Monica Mountains. Thanks for being here, Shiva.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So, Shiva, can you tell us a little bit about the month of May? The energy is so strong. The female energy is so strong. We have the May Queen. We have Mother's Day. How do we tap into that energy?
Yes, we just had May. The first day of May is also a Celtic holiday called Beltane, and or Beltane, how you like to pronounce it. And I love it because it really is a time to honor the energy of spring going into summer, and it's all about the fertility of the earth. And even if you live, I mean, I don't know where people are living right now as they're watching this, but here in California, everything is budding. Everything is, the birds and the butterflies and the blossoms and the fruits. And I know this isn't, happening all over, some in later degrees, but it's all about sort of honoring that within yourself and with the connection to the earth. And when I say fertility, I don't always mean about giving birth. For some of us who have passed that place in our life, it's about birthing new projects, birthing new ideas, birthing new philosophies, birthing a new way of being. So what I've tried to do in the last decade of my life is really try to honor where we are within the nature calendar rather than just the Gregorian calendar. And sometimes I go to Zoroastrian traditions for that, because the Zoroastrian ancient Persian traditions were very much in line with the sun energy, the moon energy, the earth energy. A lot of the holidays in Iran too are about that, like jumping over the fire, which is exactly what we do in Beltane, Celtic. Been about, sorry. I was getting a call, but for me, it's all about once I connect to that thread of energy, that cord, it grounds me. It fills me up with an unconditional love that I cannot get from other humans. And yes, we all want to be in a relationship and a partnership, and some of us are blessed to, some of us are not. But however, I've come to learn that you need that love from something else, not just your partner. So
you're absolutely right. But how do you find that? I mean, right now, as we're all scared and a lot of us have anxiety and we're kind of bombarded with so many awful images that we're watching in the news, how do you really hone in on tapping into that energy? How do you find it?
Yes, it is a challenge with things. And it's so interesting because last night, I mean, speaking from personal experience, I woke up at 2:30 in the morning with worries, and I'm usually fine. But last night in particular, I had these worries and these concerns, and you listen to them. You don't push them away. You feel them. You give them space. You acknowledge the worry. You say, thank you for showing me this. Thank you. And let me find a reasonable way out of this, or some, you try to, I've found that you can't deny it and you can't push it away because it just pop up in other ways, the anxiety. So I sit in meditation. I do that every morning. I do sadhana, which sort of at dawn, 4 or 5 morning. Today was about 5:30 because I went back to bed after I was up. So at 5:30 in the morning, I sit in silence. That's my time. I do something called living tea meditation, which is just drinking this beautiful tea that I can explain more about. But whatever it is that's good for you, find time in the morning is best, I think, before your family wakes up, before the world wakes up, if you're on your own, and connect to the energy of the earth. Feel a cord going from your pelvis down to the earth. Feel the celestial energy from the heavens. And kind of like feel where that meets within you, and just imagine a star, and then just do a few. I know meditation can be kind of a frightening word to us, but it can be whatever you'd like it to be if it feels good. I feel like my meditation is now prayer. I sort of like now it feels like a prayer time, and the prayer time is praying just to source energy. That could be spirit, God, soul, whatever it is that evokes in you a feeling of being held and taken care of.
And you find that early in the morning before everything begins, because that's your only time of real quiet and serenity.
Yes, because I mean, if you have children, and even if you don't, they say the most auspicious time in general. This is why a lot of the yogis wake up before dawn, is usually around that time between 3 and 5. Like it's sort of like the switching hour.
And then you go back to sleep so that you don't.
If it's very early, if it's like 5:30 or 6, I'm up for the day.
You're up
I
for the
do,
day.
because I do quite a long. I do my living tea, and then I do a little bit of Kundalini yoga. I have kind of a process, a few meditations and practices.
That's beautiful, but that's why you have such a beautiful, calm energy about you. I mean, we're living in an age of anxiety in this crisis, and just looking at you calms me down.
Sorry, Tom, I'm on a phone thing. Sorry about that.
No worries.
This
No
is
worries.
this is the joys of being home now, right?
Right, working mom, working from home. I mean, but you seem to be doing just fine.
Thank you. I'm doing fine in respect with the, you mean as in terms of the quarantine? I have, yes, I mean, my heart goes out to all the people that are ill, and I think about that a lot. And then I think about how our country, this country, especially our immune system, this is when we need to look into wellness, and maybe this is finally the time. I mean, I started getting into wellness, over 15 years ago because I had autoimmune issues.
Right.
I was forced into it. I had to become my own healer. I had to become my own doctor because I couldn't find help with allopathic medicine. And not that that's bad. It's a wonderful thing we have at our disposal. My gosh, if anyone has, heart issue or broken limb, or, you go to the hospital, that's a blessing that we have that. However, the one thing that Eastern cultures, like in Ayurvedic medicine and Chinese medicine, what they do is they keep well rather continuously. You actually pay the doctor to keep you well every week rather than wait till you get sick and then go get a Band-Aid, which is what we do here. So maybe what this situation will create is a shift in our lifestyles to know that it's cumulative. We have to start every day with the vitamins, the rays of the sun. That's natural vitamin D. They're finding out most people that have died had a deficiency in vitamin D. We're deficient in vitamin A. We're deficient in vitamin C. So many things we're deficient. So, and you don't have to just take a supplement. You can do this through food. You can do this through the sunshine, moon. The moon gives you vitamin D, which many people didn't know about. So I think maybe this is that shift that'll happen for us. I hope.
You're talking about staying healthy and balancing the immune system when you're not sick, which is really the key to longevity and living a good life. I'm really concerned about all the antibacterial that we're now using to kind of clean everything, clean the surfaces, clean our hands, clean everything. Are you using any of that in your house?
It's so funny. I go back and forth. I do have some wipes that I bought maybe when this first started coming out. Before now, you can't find them. I do have some wipes. And I'm of two minds. I think we should be cautious and careful. Like, if you do touch a lot of things at the grocery store, then definitely wipe your hands. But I don't think we should do this consistently, because the other thing is, there's some theories that say we need to build our immune system so that we have herd immunity with this virus, that we actually, are around it enough and strong enough that eventually it won't be such a devastating virus for us. So yeah, I go back and forth. I find that battle even within myself, but I take walks with my daughter and I don't wear a mask, and I know I get some dirty looks, but I'm like, what's the whole point is you want the oxygen, you want the good energy.
Well, you're absolutely right. They're going to open everything up Friday. For those of us who are here in Los Angeles, they're going to start to slowly open. And how are we going to then go back into the world? Are we all just going to cover ourselves with masks?
And they say, a lot of holistic doctors are saying the masks are actually bad for you because they're holding in the bacteria. They're holding in that this is sunshine and light and air, and all of this is supposed to be helping our immune systems and our microbiome. Our microbiome gets stronger when we're around. My daughter was in the dirt yesterday, like dirt, as having children, that's going to build her microbiome. That's going to make her stronger. And the same microbiome that's in our mouth, the oral one, is the same that's in your gut. And a lot of people that have died or are in the hospital have horrible oral care because it's related. Our we need to have those natural probiotics, the natural fermented foods, and all the things that, old traditions and all the cultures all over have been doing for thousands of years. And we've lost it. We've definitely lost it with our food source, all the chemicals we consume. So it's an interesting lesson. Maybe this is the rebirth thing that we need.
I hope so. And I hope that as we have a rebirth and we reset, that we really hold on to these new rituals and the new way of living. And for those of you who don't know about Shiva Rose, Local Rose, her website, her Instagram, you have incredible rituals and recipes and just a way of living that I really highly recommend for anyone watching to go to your website.
You've been supporting for so long. You've been supporting me for years. And that's the thing. I started my blog 12 years ago or something longer when it was not chic. And, it was sort of granola or hippie. This is pre-goop. This is
right.
way PG. This was PG and it was or VG. It was not popular at the time, but I knew what helped me, and it was like sort of intuitive realization that we needed this. And then, now it's becoming more acceptable and more mainstream.
Well, because it works and it's a lifestyle. It truly is. And that's why I wanted you to come on and speak to our viewers today, because you live an authentic lifestyle. I think so many of us strive for that. We are yearning for that. And to look up to someone like you and a figure who really is authentic. And now that we're all stuck at home and don't have a choice, we can finally tap into that and really start to hone in on that.
I know, it's interesting. I'm actually busy in some ways. And I'm like, and then I have to get with the times. I have to get an iPod stick. I have to get the light. I gotta get it with the times, because it's like happening now. I can actually do, and I'm naturally a homebody. I didn't like to go out much anyways before,
right.
So
now you're busier than before.
Yeah.
But you had mentioned earlier about the full moon and vitamin D. We have a full moon coming up on Thursday. Tell us a little bit about your rituals around your full moon and how you can actually get that vitamin D from the full moon.
Yes, the full moon on Thursday is going to be in Scorpio, so it's a very powerful moon. And for those of you who want to use this moon energy, you can do things like write in a journal of all the things you want to release, because the full moon is all about releasing what this last cycle has been about. So you think about everything you want to release. You can write it in a journal. You can burn it. You can bury it. And the full moon is about releasing, and the Scorpio energy is all about rebirth, regeneration, looking at the darkness, the phoenix rising from the ashes. So we can use this energy for our benefit. Some of the things I love to do is lay under the moon. I mean, laying under the moon is something we used to do, in ancient times. And it actually will give you ultraviolet rays that will benefit your immune system, your hormone system, your circadian rhythm. And there's a few rituals I talk about in my moon course. I just launched a moon course called The Moon in You. You can find it at the Local Rose. And I lowered the rate of it, drastically, because people at home right now suffering economic issues. But I wanted it to reach people, especially women, because I feel like once you connect to the love of the moon, it's like connecting to your grandmother, your sister, and it can really be healing. I know it was very healing for me. My hormonal, menstrual cycle was all over the map until I started getting in sync with the moon. My moods, I realized my moods were one thing that I discovered through this moon study is that women fluctuate. Our cycles takes a month for us to go through the estrogen dips, the progesterone, the estrogen rising, whereas men go through what we go through in 1 month and 1 day. So men wake up and their testosterone is high, and by the end, their testosterone dipped. So they go through 1 day what we go through 1 month. But because we go through 1 month, it's even more extreme.
Oh, wow.
That's why you want to kill somebody at the end. I mean, of course, metaphorically, but I'm just saying, like, we go through like those frustrations. It's really fascinating how our biology is so different. And I'm realizing more how linked we are to the moon energy. And the sun, of course, as well. So one thing I would do is, again, write in your journal. One beautiful ritual that I love, and I've been doing this for a long time, is getting a bowl of water and going outside and during the full moon, and if you can see the moon, hopefully it's not cloudy where you are, find the moon's reflection in the bowl of water, and then say some intentions to that reflection, like thank you for your protection, thank you for your connection, thank you for helping me balance the fluids in my body. And then you find it, you make a prayer, and then you can drink the water. So that's sort of like a beautiful way.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Or you can do flower essences, or you can even put your jewelry out by the moonlight and let your jewelry or your crystals get charged by the moonlight. And there's many studies, like there's been studies on water, that the moon does affect us and our bodies can, hold that energy. Being that we're mostly water, if it can change the tides of the ocean, it can definitely affect our tides.
That's beautiful. I'm definitely going to do that. I hope everyone watching does that with the next full moon, and you can all post and tag us so we can see what rituals you did. And Shiva, really, I wish I had hours to speak to you, but I know you're busy, so we're going to have to say goodbye. But you saw it all here, Moms Matter, Ever Talk TV, and we'll see you all next time.
Thank you and bless you. Thank you for all.
Don't leave. That